Hello, and welcome back to Mental Health, Striving and Thriving in the Struggle. Today's topic is eating disorders. We are most familiar a lot of times with anorexia or bulimia. Today we're going to talk about other types of eating disorder and where they come from and what to look for, the signs and symptoms to look for, and how to treat those eating disorders. Now, eating disorders are, of course, that's a mental illness, and it causes unhealthy eating habits. Yeah, that part. So, what better place to discuss eating disorders than in a food court? There are people around us that suffer from eating disorders, and we can't recognize it. We don't know who have these eating disorders. Now, first, I want us to think about where does it come from. So some of it comes from an obsession with food, or it can come from an obsession with your body size, your weight. Those things can cause an eating disorder, okay? Keep in mind that eating disorders are very serious. They can even lead to death. So it's very important that we catch them ahead of time and kind of get on it and stay on top of the situation. Now, one thing that we have to understand, eating disorders are really becoming common in men. Yeah, it used to be like a woman's thing, but now men are actually becoming real body conscious and dealing with obsession with food. So let's dig into the signs. Some of the signs that we can look for when someone is having an eating disorder. You might notice a dramatic weight loss or concern about eating in public, preoccupation with their weight. They're always talking about their weight, preoccupied with it. They may have constipation or always cold. They may have a fear of weight gain. Yeah, all those things. Some of these people are always on the scale, just repeatedly weighing themselves. They may develop binge eating and purging. They can start doing excessive exercising. Also, they may be cooking meals for others but not eating it themselves. Females may start missing their period. People can become dizzy. They may suffer from anemia. Some of them develop stomach issues. They begin to faint. And like I say, feeling cold all the time. They may have sleep trouble. And if they have a purge situation, they may have calluses across their knuckles from, purging or vomiting. Some of them may have dry skin. Suffering from eating disorder, you may have thin hair and nails. Now let's talk about the causes of the eating disorder. Yes, eating disorders can be hereditary. Also, people that are very they suffer from perfectionism, they always have to be perfect. Yep, they can develop those eating disorders as well. Impulsive people, people that feel a pressure to be thin, societal pressure, the pressure that society puts on one to be thin. Now let's get into the types of eating disorders. All right, pay close attention. Yeah, I'm sweating. It is hot in this food court. Oh my goodness. Now, anorexia nervosa, we know about that one. That's the most well-known one. It's when somebody view themselves fat. They might not even be fat, but they constantly think they're fat. They starve themselves. They are refusing to eat. That person may suffer from anorexia. They may have that distorted body image, and like I said, restricted eating patterns. We also are familiar with bulimia or bulimic nervosa. Now, these people eat a large amount of food. They bring it in, they shove it in, they shove it in, they shove it in, but then they purge it back out. Yeah. They may either vomit, fasting, laxatives, diuretics, enemas, excessive exercise. Yeah. Also, we have the binge eaters. Now, binge eaters are hard to detect because they're not going to purge it out. They just eat large amount of food. So I have been a binge eater before. I will admit my little secret. Sometimes I have been known to binge eat. And no purging it out, but some binge eating also ties in with your emotions. Emotional eating also causes binge eating. There's also the pickers. The picker eating disorder. People eat non-foods. Yeah, cotton balls, ice, dirt, soil, cornstarch, chalk, paper, a variety of different foods, non-food items, and they're suffering from the picker eating disorder. Another one is rumination disorder. Now, this is where the person actually chews up the food. They may even swallow it, but regurgitate it and eat it back and swallow it. I know it sounds gross, but people do that. That's an eating disorder as well. Now, one other one that we don't talk about much is orthorexia. Now, orthorexia, that incorporates people that have chosen to be vegetarians, vegans. They may be searching for clean food, things like that. Now, that within itself is not the problem. Being a vegan or a vegetarian or looking for clean food, but when one becomes obsessive, where it's like all they can think about, they're constantly researching, they can't think about anything else but just clean food. And sometimes they become critical of others. They start judging others that may eat meat and they don't. So those people may have a hidden eating disorder. So healthy eating is not wrong, but obsessing about it can create a type of disorder. And you spend a great deal of energy thinking about it. Yeah. That could be borderline disorder. So you say, well, Kim, how will you know if you have an eating disorder? How do I know that? Well, have you been excessively dieting? Like you're always on a diet and always depriving yourself of things that you normally enjoy to eat? You might just be on your way. Have you been uncomfortable eating in front of others? Are you ashamed of eating? That can happen as well. Have you been extremely concerned with your body size or your shape? That's an indication. Have you been having mood swings? Yeah, all of those things. Now, as I say, this series kind of briefly discusses different mental illnesses. Please do some more research on your own if one of these apply to you or somebody you know. If it applies to you or somewhere you know, please try to get help for that person or you if you're suffering from one of these eating disorders. You can do psychotherapy. There are also medications. And one great resource that we have is nutritional counseling. You can actually be counseled about your nutrition. Do not do this in silence. Reach out. Like I said, you'll understand that you're not the only one suffering from this eating disorder or someone you know. So just be mindful that in this world we come in different shapes and sizes. Love yourself. If you're plus size, okay, well, right now it's big girl season. Yeah, big girls doing their thing out here now. So love on yourself. If you think you're too thin, you don't have to go scarf down a bunch of food and binge like that. That's how God made you. So just remember to love yourself. And one big thing that ties into eating disorder is self-esteem, which is the part of the series that we discussed last time I was here. Yeah, self-esteem and eating disorders, they go hand in hand sometimes. We got to start loving ourselves and loving on each other. Now, next time when we meet for part 7, we're almost to part 10, we will be talking about codependency. Well, I'll see you next time. Let me get all these people food court. Have a great afternoon.